Hello, Roger, Jaden, Brooks. Hope you guys are having a good day today. Ready to do some Fix-It? All right. I hope you have your sheets in front of you, all marked. Are you finding that you're getting better and better at this as you go along? I bet you are. Okay, let's read the story first. The princess appointed her maid to buy all the ripe and rosy apples. Remember last time they went to the castle? He went to this castle disguised, selling apples. And you know what the apples were. The princess greedily gobbled a dozen before she too began to wonder what ailed her nose. It grew and grew down to the floor, out the window, and over the spacious garden, too. Jaden, I know that makes you so happy. When he heard the news, the king hastily sent out a proclamation to reward whoever would heal her of this appalling disease. Alrighty. So first off, we see that we need to put the paragraph symbol because we have an indentation so that we remember to indent when we write it out. We're going to capitalize the letter T in the word the. It's an article. Princess is a noun. Appointed is a verb. Why did I circle appointed? You don't have to circle this on your paper. But the reason I did is because I want to point out that it's a strong verb. The author could have said, the princess made her maid, or told her maid, to go buy all the ripe and rosy apples. But he used the word appointed to, and makes it a little more interesting. Her is a pronoun, maid is a noun. To buy is another one of those infinitive verbs that we're not marking. The is an article, ripe is an adjective, and is a coordinating conjunction, one of those fanboys. Rosy is an adjective describing apples, which is a noun. And why did I put a box around rosy? I just want to point out to you some of the the stronger adjectives that you can use. Okay, they could have just said ripe and red apples, but rosy kicks it up a notch. Okay, and don't forget your period at the end of the sentence. Sentence number 2. Capitalize the word the, which is an article. Princess is a noun. Greedily, an ly adverb. Gobbled is another strong verb. Could have just said greedily ate a dozen, but he said gobbled. Gives you a different picture. A is an article. Dozen is a noun. Before is a clause. And I want to stop here and talk about this for a minute because you know, because you've memorized your list, that before is a preposition, right? So why are we calling it a clausal opener here? Okay, the reason is, and I want to just remind you of what clauses are. When we talked about this before, that clauses have to be followed by a noun and a verb, okay? Since I didn't have a ride, I is the noun, didn't have is the verb, okay? If the word before was followed by a noun or a pronoun, like before the football game, then it would be a preposition. Okay? So normally before is a preposition. But if it's not followed by a noun or a pronoun, as we see here, it's followed by a pronoun and a verb. Okay? So it begins a whole new phrase. Before she too began to wonder what ailed her nose. Okay, so in this instance, before is a clause. You're going to mark it with a CL because it's the clause starter. It's like the A to B clauses, but it's not as common as the A to B clauses. The A to B clause openers, the when, while, where, as, if, since, although, because, are much more common, and that's why we've learned these. Okay, but in this case, again, before is a clause, clausal opener. All right. So where were we here? Before she is a preposition, and we're going to choose this too, T-O-O, because it means also. Before, she also began, verb, to this time. Wonder is a verb. Ailed is a verb, and again I've circled ailed because it's a strong verb. Could have said what was wrong with her nose or what happened to her nose, but it said what ailed her nose. Her is a pronoun, nose is a noun, and of course we end with a period. Alright, number 3. It, we're going to capitalize. It's a pronoun. Grew is a verb, and coordinating conjunction. Grew, same grew is another verb. To, in this case, is a preposition, which you haven't gotten to the end of our list. Well, you have, but not completely. But to, in this case, is a preposition. The is an article, and floor is a noun, to the floor. So we should have had that underlined as a prepositional phrase. To the floor. Okay. Out of the window, or out of the window. Out is a preposition, the is an article, window is a noun, another prepositional phrase. And, coordinating conjunction, over preposition, the article, so we have another prepositional phrase, over the spacious garden. Spacious is an adjective, another strong adjective. It could have just said big garden or large garden, but spacious is much more interesting. Garden is a noun. And we're choosing this to, T-O-O, because it means also. Period. All right, day 4. We have an indentation because we have a new paragraph because we're changing from the princess to the king. Okay, new character coming in here. When is capitalized. It is a clausal opener, an Asia opener. He is a pronoun. Heard is a verb. The is an article. And news is a noun. The is an article. King is a noun. Hastily is an ly adverb. And what does hastily describe? It describes how the king sent. He hastily sent. Not he slowly sent or he eventually sent, but he hastily. He did it very quickly. Sent is a verb. A is an article. Proclamation is a noun. To reward is another one of those infinitive verbs. Would is a verb. Heal is a verb. Now I just want to draw your attention to also, would is a healing verb. Would is a helping verb. And we just want to cover those helping verbs again because you're going to see them again and again in the future. Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been, have, has, had, do, does, did, shall, will, should, would, may, might, must, can, could. Okay? So would is the one that we just saw in the story. All right. Would heal her. Let me get this straight so it doesn't mess with you. Okay. Heal is a verb. Her is a pronoun. Of is a preposition. This is an adjective describing what disease, this disease. And appalling is another strong adjective describing the disease, which is a noun. Period. Okay? And just to make sure you understand what these words means, appointed means assigned to a certain task. Gobbled, of course, you know what that means. He ate quickly, or she ate in this case, quickly. What else? Spacious means wide open, a large area. And appalling means causing great horror or dismay. So you can imagine how you would feel if your nose grew all the way to the floor and out the window and into your yard. It would be pretty appalling. Okay, so you know the drill. Copy your sentences onto your story and send them my way. Okay, prepositions, helping verbs. Okay, just to remind you, when you're writing your papers, your rough draft is due on Monday, and your final draft would be due a week from this Thursday, today. Just remember to mark your papers like I talked to you about last week, with your dress-ups over here, DEC wherever you have a decoration, and your sentence opener numbers over here, and VOC wherever your vocabulary word occurs. Okay, that will really help me to find all your little goodies in your papers. And underline the words that you repeat or reflect in your clinchers. All right. So the only thing you have left to do today is to take your preposition quiz, review a little bit, and then see if you can write out all the prepositions between about and through. And after that, next week we'll have the final quiz with all of them. I know you're looking forward to that. And your homework is to rewrite the fix-it and just continue working on your papers about the story of Pompeii, which is due on Monday. All right, if y'all have any questions, please be sure to let me know. And until then, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you back again here on Tuesday. Bye-bye.